A very good morning. Hope you had a fantastic Monday. It is today the 12th of March and we're going to be diving into towards EURUSD. So EURUSD at the moment is inside of a 4-hour supply zone which caused a fractal break of structure, also known as a change of character. So what we can see over here is that the overall trend of the 4-hour was bullish in towards the highs, so higher highs and overall higher lows. But now what we're looking for is a potential push further in towards the downside, back down in towards this kind of like extreme area of demand. Obviously, if you take this entire sell for the buy, we have now officially tapped in, hence the overall reaction that we're seeing over here back in towards the highs. However, preferably I would like to see euro dollar push down a little bit lower, but we do have to keep in mind that the overall momentum is definitely still in towards the highs, with the overall market structure still being bullish with higher highs and higher lows. Officially now, if we look at this 4-hour structure, we have now pulled back in towards the overall discount zone. So if we look at this, you can see we've pulled back in towards the 50% mark. We've tapped in towards this overall zone, this overall sell for the buy. So it does make sense for the market now to continue up in towards the highs. Now, an additional confluence that I have potentially for further upside is that if we just look at the 15-minute time frame over here, what we can see is that the 15-minute was very similar to the 4-hour. Overall, higher high over here, higher low over here, higher high. Then what happened? We saw a bearish break of structure happen over here. However, what is interesting about that bearish break of structure is that it went straight in towards this area of demand, and from there we saw kind of like this V-shaped bullish reaction, indicating a lot of bullish momentum came in towards the market. So it's not like the most preferable 15-minute break of structure that I would like to see. I would like to see a little bit more bearish momentum, but regardless, that does mean that we can look for a sell from this area of supply, as we are currently moving further in towards the downside from here. So what I'm looking for today is maybe for some further downside, kind of grabbing liquidity below all of these lows, and definitely kind of following the overall 50-minute structure here on euro dollar. If we do not see any follow through from euro dollar and we just, for example, continue moving in towards the highs and we start breaking the overall high over here, then I will be looking for longs and a further continuation of that overall 4-hour trend. So that's euro dollar for you. Now moving on in towards the dollar index, because we love using the dollar index as confluence for our trades. Now going in towards the dollar index, what we can see is that it does still have a lot of room back in towards the upside. Do keep that in mind. Overall, if we just quickly dive in towards the daily, we can very clearly see that the market came in towards this area of consolidation, and it looks good, or pretty good, now to continue further in towards the highs. Overall, we are still bullish on the dollar from this low in towards this high. We saw the correction, and now we kind of like saw the, let's say, internal downtrend over here get broken in towards the upside over here, pullback, and now pretty much just upside continuation is what we're potentially looking for, at least I would say in towards this overall area of consolidation over here. So that would mean that euro dollar is still good to drop further. Do keep that in mind. Now moving on in towards Aussie dollar over here. So Aussie dollar reacted obviously to this area of supply, still looking for some further downside on this pair for the upcoming week. Overall, what we can see over here, that we in fact called that change of character yesterday. We're now pulling back in towards, let's say, this kind of like overall order block. So keep your eyes open for a potential further downside. I would like to still see a deeper correction over here on Aussie dollar, at least, for example, in towards this overall order block over here, and then this lower one over here. Now going in towards 15, that's where you want to look for those entries. So yesterday we pretty much had a perfect entry opportunity from this zone over here, as you can see and highlighted in yesterday's video. Now Aussie dollar is becoming slightly more choppy, so it does look like it wants to move up a little bit higher, but no problem, then we will just look for shorts from slightly higher prices. So that's it for Aussie dollar. For the rest, I mean, you can see we kind of have this descending corrective price action. Now we're kind of breaking in towards the highs. Price is kind of stuck at this support and resistance level. Let's see if we break out, just look for some further upside continuation in towards this area of supply. That's Aussie dollar. Now moving on in towards pound dollar. So pound dollar is falling as of this morning, pretty much as expected as well. Saw the bearish change of character yesterday afternoon, I think it was, then pullback, and now further downside continuation with the overall momentum. So still looking good for that further downside push. Definitely looking to see pound dollar drop at least in towards kind of like this region of the market over here. Going in towards 15, what you then want to be doing is you want to be following the overall order flow. So what you can see here is that we got this break of structure. structure. So structure shifted from bullish over here in towards bearish, with this being your low. We pulled back. Let's see, not really anything very obvious supply wise, not my favorite kind of setups, but we did have some supply over here, and that's what we're reacting to, and now it's selling off further from. So yeah, still looking for that further downside continuation. So just trade the overall order flow and continue the shorts in towards that area of 4-hour demand. First of all, depending on how we react over here, we could just continue down lower, but this is definitely my next target for pound dollar. Moving in towards NZDUSD. What are we looking for over here? Well, obviously hasn't been moving at all, pretty much. Looking for longs from this area of demand over here, or from this larger area of demand over here. Those are pretty much favorable for myself. What we didn't have yesterday yet was that bearish change of character. So the bearish change of character, so there is still some room for NZDUSD to fall. But if you look at this is a barcode, so not really focusing too much on this pair as of now. It's just consolidating. If we do move down lower, then you guys know where to look for those potential longs. Going in towards gold, by the way, that was the wrong pair, but going in towards gold, the last one. Gold, guys, very tricky one. Look, we're currently at all-time high, so what can you do? If you look left, there's nothing really to trade from. Supply wise, obviously we want to be looking for some further downside before, let's say, continuing the overall longs in towards the highs. What do we need to look for a correction? We need to see a shift in the overall market structure. So what is currently your fractal low? That is the question you should be asking yourself. I mean, at the moment, overall, this is your fractal low over here. So I'm just waiting for this low to go, and then potentially some further downside before then maybe upside continuation. That's why I'm not really looking at trading gold at the moment. But if you want to, just go in towards the 15-minute time frame, and you'll see we're just consolidating, just moving sideways. So you guys know I have this range trading tool over here, and draw in your range trading tool. So what you want to be doing is you want to be taking the swing high over here and the swing low over here, and then what you want to be doing is you want to be buying at the 25% mark, and you want to be selling at the 75% mark. So that's what you could just do. Just look for kind of like a market structure shift. So for example, over here, wait for this high to go, and then just look for a retest in towards the demand zone, and then look for a long again. Then once you reach this over here, look for a bearish market shift, supply, and then further short back towards the 25% mark again. So that's my tip and advice for you on gold. Hope you guys have an amazing day, and speak soon.